Welcome back, Buckeye fans, to another episode of Buckeye Rising. I'm your host, Ace, and I'm here to take you beyond the box score to break down the whys and the hows of the game. We just witnessed one of the most complete performances of the season by the number one Ohio State Buckeyes. They marched into Camp Randall and delivered a dominant 34-0 shutout victory over the Wisconsin Badgers. This road route definitely improves the Buckeyes to a perfect 7-0 on the season, and it sends a chilling message to every team left on the schedule. The Buckeyes are firing on all cylinders. This is Ohio State's second shutout of the season and their 11th consecutive win over the Badgers. Let's get ready to kick off. This is Buckeye Rising. All right, first we're going to look at the offensive side of the ball. The Buckeyes came out like a lightning bolt. They scored on all three of their possessions in the first quarter. Julian Sain was simply surgical. He had his best game of the year, completing an unbelievable 36 of 42 passes for a career-high completion percentage of 85.7%, adding to his total of the season 79.5% so far this year. He also had 394 yards throwing and 4 touchdowns. In the first quarter alone, Sain was 14 of 15 for 169 yards as the team raced to a 17-0 lead. The poise, the accuracy, the decision-making, they were all world class. He now has joined C.J. Stroud as the only Ohio State quarterback to complete at least 80% of their passes for at least 350 yards and 4 touchdowns without a single interception in a single game. This was a Heisman-level performance. The receiving corps was also masterful, and it was led by Carnell Tate, who had 6 receptions for 111 yards and 2 touchdowns, including a spectacular 33-yard jump ball on the opening drive. But let's give a lot of respect to Jeremiah Smith. He led the team with 13 hard-earned receptions for 97 yards. And while the running game only managed 97 yards total against that tough front of Wisconsin, the offensive line really did give Sain all the time he needed to throw the ball. The offense essentially dared Wisconsin to stop the pass, and the Badgers, they had no answers. Next, we're going to shine a light on special teams. While the special teams didn't score any touchdowns, a defensive play that led to a field goal perfectly summarizes the Buckeyes' early dominance. The key turning point in the first quarter, which built on the early lead, came from the defense and special teams working together. After Carnell Tate's first touchdown, Wisconsin had a chance to answer, but safety Sonny Styles snagged his second interception of the season. It was a pick-off of a pass that deflected off the Badgers' running back. The offense turned the short field into a field goal of 38 yards by Jaden Fielding. Later in the half, Fielding did miss another 38-yard field goal attempt, which you never want to see. Special teams could be an area that we really want to keep an eye on. There was a lot of strange plays today from them. However, the special teams unit's biggest contribution was how little they were actually needed. That's a testament to an offense that just kept scoring and a defense that kept forcing punts. And speaking of, how about that defense? This unit is playing at a historic high level, holding the Badgers scoreless to earn its second shutout of the season. The MVP is undoubtedly the defense's overall complete dominance, just holding Wisconsin to a meager 144 yards for the entire game. But let's call out Caleb Downs and Arvell Reese. Downs seemed to be everywhere. He racked up 5 solo tackles and really controlled the secondary. And Reese tallied an impressive 2 tackles for loss and 1 sack, contributing to the relentless pressure on the quarterback. The Buckeyes are now allowing a nation-leading 5.9 points per game. This is not just a good defense. It's smothering elite unit that is really winning games for the Buckeyes, regardless of whatever the opponent's scheme is. The genius of Matt Patricia's strategy was forcing Wisconsin to give up on the run game and try to push through with the pass game, which was exactly what they are not built for. The Badgers only managed 95 rushing yards on 31 attempts, and Wisconsin did have the punter run for 20 yards on a fake punt. So if we throw that one out, it makes for a very sad 75 yards on 30 attempts. Wisconsin was forced to punt on 7 of their 9 total drives, with the other 2 ending in turnovers. The defensive line, with players like Caden Curry and Caden McDonald, really generated constant interior pressure that never allowed the Wisconsin quarterback to get comfortable. They bent, they broke, and then they were just done. Now let's break down the most important calls of the game, those that are made by Coach Ryan Day and his staff. Coach Ryan Day had a pretty clean sheet in this game. He showed a great balance of being aggressive and clock management. The quarterback sneak conversion on 4th and 1 at the Ohio State's 26-yard line late in the third quarter was a brilliant display of trust in the offense and secured a drive that ultimately resulted in a touchdown to Will Kazmarek, making it 27-0 and officially putting the game away. Day's emphasis on starting fast, which resulted in the 17-0 lead in the first quarter, proved to be a masterful strategic decision for the day. The coaching call that showcased the depth of the team was continuing to call pass plays in the fourth quarter to develop the offense and involve all the weapons. The final touchdown to Brandon Ennis was the result of a drive where they perfectly mixed the run and pass. Day also did a great job of managing the roster. He really put in a lot of young players to get significant snaps late in the game while still maintaining the shutout. He executed the perfect game plan for a road win against a traditional Big Ten rival. And that's the game. But before we go, here's my extra point. The biggest takeaway from this game is that the Ohio State Buckeyes are the most dominant team in the nation. They have college's most prolific offense, led by 2 Heisman contenders in Julian Sain and Jeremiah Smith, and then an absolutely suffocating defense. They've handled every challenge thrown at them, road or home, with clinical efficiency. The sky is the limit for this team. So what's up next? The Buckeyes head into the second and final bye week of the season. They then return to action on Saturday, November 1st at Ohio Stadium for a massive home clash against the Penn State Nittany Lions. But before we leave, my rising star of the week is Isaiah West. He came off the bench as a true freshman running back, with the run game struggling for consistent yardage against that stout Wisconsin front. West provided a crucial spark in the second half. He finished the day with a solid line of 10 carries for 43 yards. That 4.3 carry average was the most efficient of all the primary running backs. And then you throw on an 11-yard reception, he had a great day. His relentless motor and explosive cuts gave the offense a much-needed jolt and proved he's ready for a bigger role in the backfield rotation moving forward. That's it for this week's episode of Buckeye Rising. Thank you for tuning in and rising with me. We'll be back in a couple weeks to break down the massive game against Penn State. Until then, OHIO, go Bucks.